Live from the Real Guppy Dockside Learning and Multimedia Center. It's the Real Angler Podcast with community Kevin Brannon. Brought to you by AFTCO Fishing Apparel and Tackle, designed to perform. Channel Islands Sport Fishing, offering deep-sea fishing on quality sport fishing charter boats, and more. Costa Sunglasses. Discover life's greatest adventures with Costa. See what's out there. Daiwa. If you want innovation and quality in your fishing products, Daiwa has what you need. And now, here's your host, community Kevin Brannon.
Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are listening. We are really doing a boardwalk talk. We are set up on the boardwalk today.
Too nice of a day to spend any time inside.
And the inside's a little cluttered.
Well, that doesn't hurt either.
Yeah.
And you notice we start the show just as the sirens start.
Yeah.
So you can tell it's realistic.
That's part of film, man. My teacher used to teach us. Now, if you hear me lisp or talk funny, I just had my teeth cleaned this morning. The numbness is still there because Scotty's only got limited time in the morning. So instead of rescheduling or canceling it, we did it. But I was just in the doctor's seat an hour ago getting my bottom teeth cleaned. So I got a little numbness still on the bottom. So my tongue is in the way, or I'm lisping, or I spit or drool during this conversation. There's nothing wrong with me except for the fact that half of my mouth is numb right now.
And that's what your filmmaker teacher told you, that these things happen.
Right.
And you just push through.
The show must go on.
Show must go on.
Right. And the other one is whenever you start to film, sirens go off, the guy starts his lawnmower. Yeah, the wind blows. There's always like this, something happens when you're ready to shoot, you know?
Yep.
But also, that's funny you talk about that. The only class I ever missed in film school was when I got my wisdom teeth pulled out. And I remember I walked into his office or walked into our classroom and I threw my teeth. They're in a little Ziploc bag and I dropped them on his desk and was like, is this an excused absence? I didn't have a doctor's note, but I had my teeth from the dentist.
I think that's probably better.
And I wonder where they're at now. Wondering.
Maybe he kept them and gave you a better grade.
Maybe make a little community cat voodoo doll.
See that raven trying to get that lizard?
I think that's a crow.
Oh, he got him.
Did he? Hey, I hear it right here where we're at. Like, comes another one. You got squirrels, birds of prey. You see the blue heron, the great blue heron. They're always hunting. The pelicans, the cormorants. There's definitely a wildlife experience out here, watching animals feed on different animals. It's kind of cool.
And I love the fact that you come out here, and especially doing the show out here today, the seals out there basking in the sun.
Technically, sir, those are sea lions.
Sea lions.
And you should know the difference since you work
here.
Tell
me the difference.
Oh, there's a bunch. Sea lion.
So tell me the difference between a sea lion and a seal.
Sea lion and a seal. Okay, there's a couple. We actually have this in our children's workbook, Wells and Friends, and we take it out on the boat when we do our little laboratory thing. Couple. Kind of think about a sea lion, since you're in pest control, and more like a rodent, like a rat.
Okay.
And a seal more like a mouse. A little smaller.
That's a great way of describing it.
Compact nose. They kind of look more like a little mouse. Ears on a sea lion versus ears on a mouse. I think you can see the sea lion's ears. They can get up on all fours and kind of come after you. Their fins are longer that they use to swim around in. Sea lions have these little nubs like little alligator arms, or seals have it, and they don't get nearly as big. Seals, unless you go like to an elephant seal, then they're huge, but you get those more close to like San Simeon up the coast a little bit.
So the sea lions are the bigger sluggier ones.
No, this there they go there. The seals are more like the slugs.
Okay.
Where the sea lion can actually can stand up and walk on all fours, where seals can't.
That's kind of scary. I know they do a lot of damage to boats, not intentionally, but for example, over by Harbor Cove Cafe, where I go often for lunch and dinner or whatever, there's a boat there with this one particular sea lion. Or seal. I think he's probably a seal actually. Sea lion. Okay. He jumps up on the back. What's that called? The back deck. It's a little.
There's a transom.
Transom. That's it. Thank you. And they don't like him there because he's 600 or 800 pounds. You know.
How much you put 10 of those on a dock?
Yeah.
Again, as far as rodents go, structural damage, right? When you put so much on the dock that they take over and it starts to sink the dock, then yeah, there might be time for them to go. But we got to know how to live in harmony with them.
Yeah, I agree.
But when they start doing structural damage or property damage, then they might need to be escorted out, you know?
And these people don't want to hurt them, obviously, because they put up things like pails and other things just on that.
Do they not want to hurt them, or they just don't hurt them because it's, you know?
Well, let's put it this way. They probably haven't.
If you could throw a rock at it or shoot it, I think some people, unfortunately, would take that matter, but again, you got to live in harmony with them. So.
Yeah, I think these people, because all they do is they put stuff on there so that he can't get up there.
Yeah.
And that, I don't know how much it works really, because like I said, it's just empty pails and other stuff. But it seems like he just knock it off in the water. But they've got it bungeed and things like that.
Another thing is that these sea lions, and same with the ravens, right? For instance, when you go to the island, there's a bit of domestication to them. That's a term, right?
Okay, now why is that?
They're not afraid of humans anymore as much.
Because they've seen them all the time, and do people feed them?
Well, yeah, they could go. When they give you a speech on the boat, they can go in your backpacks and stuff, man. They've learned. Again, hunting styles, right?
Right.
And they're not being hunted by the natives anymore, like sea lions and seals,
right?
And even the island fox. So you have some of these animals that are a little bit domesticated because they know they're protected, so that instinct to run from predators is almost bred out of them, right? Because nothing can attack them, so they get a little closer, and
that leaves them a little vulnerable.
Nah, but again, they're protected.
Yeah, I know, but some people don't care. I mean, how many people have shot bald eagles just because I want to shoot a bald eagle?
Yeah, there's 5% of that. How many people don't return the shopping cart, Scotty? There's just people out here that are
right.
just jerks.
What were we always taught?
There's a
2% of the people you're never going to fix. They're just bad people.
Say there's 5%. That's
none of you out there. You're all good people. We know that.
Yeah, and if you were bad, you could work on that. Some people used to say that Kevin kid, I know how bad his little bad butt is. So you can also there's a transforming of people that could go from that. What's that movie? Scrooge. When he has to get visited by those different spirits.
The Bill Murray movie.
There's a reason why. And then on the other side of that, why people might be bad if you watch. And I talk a lot about this in our faith-based stuff, like with our men's group, is because you never know but anybody's story that put them on the dark side, right?
True.
Like, Anakin Skywalker, right? He was Darth Vader, and it was something that put him on the dark side, right? Somebody died. I remember one of the episodes. So you never know why somebody chose the dark side or what their story is or when they went from the dark side to the nice side. And that's
Have you seen the new Superman movie?
No, but I did hear that Superman had pictures of me in his pajamas.
He does, yes. Yeah. Well, it's the same thing with that movie. I won't give anything away since you haven't seen it yet. But the villain is a villain. But when he tells you what his reason for being a villain is, you're like, you don't condone it, but you can understand why he might think that.
Yeah, the empathetic side or understanding for their story.
Right.
And that's good. That's why I like to hear people's stories on our show, testimonial from people that have gone. And that's why, again, a faith-based guy that I am, is you never know the miracles that God can perform. I mean, he's a miracle worker and, did plenty of stuff in my life and I could see him do things in other people's lives. So again, there's no reason to give up hope on people. You never know when they could come around or something could come around, and that's where I plan to put a lot of my faith in humanity nowadays, right? Everybody's like, oh, today and blah, blah, blah. It's like, I still put faith in humanity. You never know anybody's story and how somebody could come out of a funk or transform their life into something more positive and productive,
Right. That's exactly right. I like that. I like that philosophy a lot. I really do.
I'm living it, That's why our logo is this one's a Guppy logo, but the logo of the worm catching the fish is about nothing's impossible.
That's
man,
right.
Because, you could be against all odds. You cannot have the resources you need. You could have a learning deficiency. You could live in a single parent. You could come from the foster home, be an orphan. You can come from the Holocaust.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. We talked about this yesterday. I was at CSUCI. So today's just we're just going to flow episode. We want to keep our momentum going. Talk a little bit about what the guests that we've had previously, and also one thing is that what I'm talking about is kind of expanding the video. Scotty said that it's the most watched video that he's seen. I'll get back to the CSUCI thing in a second, but
our last interview with Robert was by far the most watched episode, and for a number of reasons. It's a great guest. People shared it everywhere. I mean, literally everywhere. And also, there's a lot of information about what's happening here that people are hungry for.
Yeah.
And you had the exclusive, the first time somebody was sat down and talked about it.
That's right. I think I got Michael Tripp exclusive. We got his exclusive. And part of that is the storytelling aspect and humanizing people, right? Who's this, this German company coming in? And I think we humanized him to let people knew his history, his connection to Oxnard. And I thought one of the most intriguing stories was how Axel got a hold of him.
Yes.
Cut out an article from a paper or a newspaper article that his parents sent, Axel's parents sent him in California, and he reached out to him, and here he is, his right-hand man down here, man. So
and what did you tell us? He couldn't have done any of this without Axel.
Yep.
And that's how they connected, and then who knew that connection was going to lead to what the big things that they've been doing?
There's a Think and Grow Rich. They tell the story about, I think somebody wanted to work with Edison, and this guy wanted to, because it talks about infinite in the, if anybody's watched or the video, I watched the YouTube video, but Think and Grow Rich with Napoleon Hill. There's a theme in every chapter, but it's infinite. Like you believe in it infinitely, and that's what it's about. Infinite belief. You know, if he said I could do this, right? Like that's real. He pursued Robert with the letter, you know, and got a hold of him and was able to make that connection. And that's what we tell people, like perseverance is so strong.
That's
and
true.
In that book, there's another story. So you hear these same stories of people that are very similar because the philosophy of not taking no for an answer or trying something out or having a disbelief doesn't even cross their mindset. You know, it's like, oh, I think I could do this. It's obtainable. In that book about it, thinking, that's why it's called Think and Grow Rich, because you're subconsciously, what we think about comes, you know, if you think you can do it, you can do it. If you think you can't, a man who thinks he can. A guy who thinks he can't. So going back to what we talked about yesterday on the channel at the university, is that's what our mindset is. And we're talking to some other organizations that work with teens and at-risk youth, but it's like, you know, as long as I've been living in a certain neighborhood, you know, it kind of looks the same 40 years later. But I think it's because of the philosophy that oh, you're a second-class citizen, you're a product of your environment. You know, there's always these excuses and outs that the institution teaches us to justify us not reaching our full potential or giving it a try or becoming dependent on their supplies or their resources so that you can't. And this is where it goes back to the animal thing.
Right.
If I feed this animal constantly, he's going to get comfortable with me feeding him. And maybe he doesn't hunt as much anymore because of the fact that he
knows he's going to get fed later.
Right?
Yeah.
So
that's true.
Philosophy.
It's not just a business philosophy, it's a life philosophy.
Yeah. But they all, if your life philosophy is a certain way, your vision, your mindset, your outlook on things, you'll see how it falls into whether you're going to the gym, how you eat, how you spend your money. Are you reckless, right? Again, it's philosophy. So if you're like, shrug your shoulder person is your philosophy, you know, if you're like, hey, I'm a go-getter philosophy. So, but every individual has control over what their philosophy is. And again, if you've been broken, damaged, stepped on, traumatized, again, you could still make that transition, man.
Yeah.
Man, you got me up here preaching, Scotty.
I like it. That's very good.
Preaching the sermon today, man. Praise God. Let me tell you what.
And by the way, we were mentioning the last podcast with Robert Wall, right? Dahl. He there was an actor named Robert Wall, and I knew I was going to make that mistake. Anyway, with Robert Dahl, he, like I said, very successful podcast, and maybe you've seen it. But if you want to be a guest in the show, we are always looking for guests. So if you want to come on and promote your business, you want to come on and talk about the environment, you want to come on and talk about Carl's world, you know, or anything, any topic. First of all, Kevin's well-versed in virtually everything. You come on and talk about pest control. I don't know why, but you could. But anyway, we want you on the show. We want to have people drop by and be on our show with us. And it's just, and we do it as much to promote what their plans and their ideas are as to meet people. We've met some really cool people doing this.
Yeah.
And I think that's important.
And I know now that we have met so many, you know, because most people that we meet, that we have met that are on here from the networking world, right?
Right.
Like we had a chef here a month ago, right? And we had an author, Alicia, that was here, right? Before that, or right around
award-winning author,
right? And we had Amani Black, right? And we've had
she was great.
And we had
and we went out to the Olive Ventura.
Olive Ventura, right? So those are all networking partners, and they get their story. So they'll be coming back through our Oceans of Opportunity as guest speakers to talk to our youth and families too. So we'll tie that into where they'll come back and give their speech and their spiel and their business model, because part of what we teach here is the business side is also entrepreneurship, you know, and creators and inventors.
Right.
So we'll have them on again, and we'll use their services again, and it'll be on the other side to inspire the new generation, or even the parents, man. I know they get excited. Like, I didn't go back to Oxnard College to be a filmmaker until I was 28. So you're not too old to chase and love what you do as well, right? So
that's true.
Your parent could be sitting back. I had a really good conversation with one of the parents on the safari that we did. And just to throw it out there, we do have a Real Guppy Outdoor YouTube channel now that has shorter videos with Real Guppy clips only on it. And we do this thing called the safari. We take our boat out and again to show them about the sea lion and the sails and the birds. And when we go in here to this side of where the big expensive houses are, you know, on this side of the harbor, if you guys could take a look right here. Let me just turn this just a little skosh. Over there is where you start getting into the multi-million-dollar homes, right?
Beautiful homes.
So she was talking about, do you think those people come from generational wealth, or they built their own? We're looking at boats too. And I'm like, majority of them probably built their own empire, and then we got to talking about that. And, if you're married and, your partners, if you guys have the same visions and goals, because maybe ideally, if you have some young kids right now, you might not be able to invest the time that it would be to continue to build your empire, right? But as they get older and they're at school during the day, or they're playing sports, that you could take a class or do something to up your value a couple times a week over the course of 2 years, and then, make yourself more valuable. I was listening to Jim Rohn right now, a guy about philosophy. He had 4 philosophies, and one of them was the philosophy of effort. There's a philosophy of waiting for the company to pay you. There's a philosophy of forcing the company to pay you, like joining a union, but then they still cap you out, and then there's the other one of, he's like, your company only pays you X, but they pay the manager X, and they pay the regional manager X, right? So your company doesn't only pay that. That's just what they pay you, right? So, but as you get to getting your value up, then you could start to accumulate some more funding and wealth, and then reinvesting that or that. But again, it's philosophy. So going back to what I'm saying is, I know that we trigger even the adults to come through our programming to rethink, are they really doing what they love to do? Can I still make an effort and chase my dream and passion and go after it? And so it's kind of neat. So when we have those speakers that are on our podcast come back, that could give some encouragement to somebody to, finish that project they started, or with the idea that they're tinkering on, and still get started.
How many stories have we done with people here with that's exactly how they got started? They started tinkering.
I think
they started to follow their dream. Exactly.
Anybody you can think of that we hadn't had that? Why do I can like, it was given to me?
Yeah. And that tells you a lot right there, that of all the guests we've had in the show, we've had 150 guests probably so far at this point, through all the years. Every one of them has that kind of philosophy and that kind of story about their dreams and turning it into a business.
Yep.
So it tells you quite a bit about it.
Yeah, again, the American dream still continues, man. No matter who's in the office, no matter what's going on, people still showing up here because they want a piece of the American dream. That's right. Sometimes Americans are the ones that don't believe it.
That's true.
You got immigrants that believe in the American dream where Americans don't. Yeah. Oh, it's over. It's not a fair shake. I'm too old. I can't do this. You've already been brainwashed into believing that you can't, like you say, versus, people that come here with, nothing but opportunity in their binoculars and their scope, that they're really like, as soon as I get there, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to make a better way for me and mines, right? And you have people that are here that are like, this is all I'm going to do for me and mines, or something happens, so I can't do nothing better for me and mines. And again, that's why I like to tell those stories. And the other thing about this, doing the podcast and it being shared and showcased, also gave a highlight on the more work that we're doing with the Real Angler Network.
Right.
That I didn't know Kevin did production. I didn't know they did a podcast. I thought they just took kids fishing, when we've been spending a lot more time expanding more of just taking kids fishing. This is called the Dockside Learning Center. It's not called the Dockside Fishing Center. And bringing out more of the vision that we've had. Like Scotty said, we've been doing this podcast for about 7 years, right? And so we've been at this for a while. It's nothing new. We were just able to, now that he retired, have a consistent day to get it done every Wednesday, finding guests, letting them know. Then people share it, and then somebody calls and says, hey, I want to be on your podcast, the way that we communicated and send that out. So what we're going to do, Scotty, a little heads up, and you people listening, we have a couple of interns, 4 of them now. So there will be a continuous email blast going out on all of our media stuff. So we send a newsletter out, right? Mm-hmm. But they could schedule a video to go out, the new episode, a new video, and something that's coming up. And then they'll actually get to create that and then set it up on a weekly schedule.
Beautiful.
So we can saturate our database, our CRM holding where we have all of our contacts, and continue to showcase. That's the term we use, right? Because it's art,
That's
art
right.
Showcase is to showcase our product, our guests, their stories, the TV show, showcase our interns getting a chance to meet people, communicate. So when you run into them at an expo or you run into them somewhere, they're like, oh, I remember I got an email from you and I seen what you're doing with the program, or I seen it in a video. So we're going to expand
that's excellent news.
Our communication, but we haven't done enough sharing. We have a newsletter at the bottom, click on here and this will take you to the TV show or the podcast. Right. But it'd be cool to just send one out weekly with the newest, latest. And it's not a full newsletter either. It's just like 4 links, boop, 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 real short, sweet, straight to the point newsletter versus the other one. So you always have strategies that we're ironing out, but you really do need the people in place to be able to move all the strategy.
That's so
you know what
true.
I'm saying? There's only so much capacity that I could do, and I've been trying to pace myself to slow down because I'm always in a hurry because I got so much to get done in a day. Then now that we have staff and interns and departments, and we were able to get a little funding for some marketing so they could teach the team. So, it really helps us. But that was always part of the strategy. It's just finding the resources to move the strategy.
And just think about how much that has changed since we did our first podcast. I mean, it was a big deal then, but look at it now. Now it's this machine that is doing everything that we plan to get done. Mm-hmm. And it's happening, and it's big, and the reach is growing every single week.
I heard Joe Rogan's like, I wonder what Kevin's doing on his podcast.
That's what he called me and asked me that. He said he didn't want to go to you because he knew you were busy.
Yeah. So. You know what? The show I've been watching a lot lately too, going to bed at night, is it's called like the Hot Wings.
Yeah, sure. That guy's one of the best interviewers in the business.
Yeah. So I've been watching his show and checking out how he does it, which is pretty neat. So
yeah,
he study their craft too.
That's exactly right. That guy has created something. It started out as a "Can you handle this hot sauce" show, and it turned into this interview show where he's getting accolades as being one of the best interviewers in the world.
Yeah.
He had to work towards that.
What's interesting on his show is that he always has stuff like his research team does research on his guest, so he'll pull something out and they'll be like, "How do you?" Yeah, like wait a minute. So it just draws in because what happens is, again, I think sometimes, especially in Hollywood, people always ask you about the same stuff. You're trying to promote a movie, but when you do some of these podcasts, again, like with Robert, you're really able to humanize the person.
Right.
They're not so much there. If you do a late night show host, it's usually a movie premiere coming out. So you're more
promotion.
More promotion of your artwork than it is, again, a personalized interview with the artist.
Which is why that's exactly it. That's why we don't script anything. Whenever you see one of these podcasts, Kevin's asking these questions off the top of his head. He may have a few notes, but just a few notes, and it's just a conversation. Mm-hmm. And we think that works better than having a question answer response. Real. Exactly, and that's
real radio.
You keep it real, REAL, and real, REEL. But that's what makes, I think, the podcast different than others. It's because it's a conversation. It's not an interview.
They are messaging me about my next teeth cleaning. Well, I'm done with them right now. It's just checkup. So anyway, that was a text message. So
I got that tomorrow. I got to go to the dentist tomorrow. I love my dentist, but I'm not looking forward to it. It's one of those things that you're designed as a human being not to like.
Yeah, it's wearing off right now, though. I could definitely feel.
Yeah, well, that's good. You haven't bitten yourself.
Here comes our live studio audience.
So yeah,
you guys want to be part of the podcast? Say hi. Say hi.
Hi.
That's right.
That's right.
Real radio. See that, man?
Now this woman walked by here just a couple of seconds ago, and you waved at her. Uh-huh. Did you know her?
No.
Okay. Friendly. All right.
I'm the Welcome Center, bro. We're the Welcome Center for the Channel Islands Harbor Fisherman's Wharf. You know that.
But every time we do something outdoors like this, and there's nobody here right now, somebody comes by and says hi to Kevin. It has, well, it did
I think I
twice,
say hi, because usually I'm the one that, because I look a little tough, so some people will be like.
Well, a lot of people recognize you now.
Yeah.
They know there's the Guppy guy, there's Community Kev, and that's always fun. But there's nobody here right now, but we still got a couple people say hi, even though we don't know them. Yep. We should have asked them if they want to do a podcast in the future.
Should have. They were kept on moseying. If they would have slowed down and showed a little bit more, like if they would have just pulled back on those brakes a little bit, I would have continued the combo. But
power walk, don't you think? They're walking for exercise.
And but what Scotty was saying, one of the cool things that came out of it is that they do think I'm an ambassador for Carlsland.
You kind of are.
Even when I got a call from Jed, the guy that does all the social media and stuff for the harbor. Yeah. He's like, bro, great interview, and you think you're an ambassador, and so me trying to get out to Germany, man, I think is the next move, man.
Yeah, that he invited you out there to take a look at it, see what it was like, and I'm envious. I think that's going to be very cool to see that.
I'm tagging you and the harbor in this Instagram post.
Very nice.
Right now, because again, even while I'm working, man. But yeah, my teeth feel my tongue feels better. I feel like I'm there. So what other cool things are going on, man? Again, so we have Oceans of Opportunity. I'm going to Philadelphia this month. We're going to be a couple of weeks off. Scotty's gone next week. You going to Palm Springs?
Going to Palm Springs,
and then the week after that, I will be in Philadelphia for a social justice conference. And then next month I get to go to the summit. So I got some stuff going on. We had some great team meetings today. Kevin Jr.'s in there sharing the video that we did of the floating laboratory.
Can I give a shout out to Kevin Jr. because he's working hard.
Yeah.
I think he's in there and he's doing a great job holding down the fort and doing things on his own. I'm very impressed.
He has this thing, it's called like Zello or something, and has to show where he's at with his projects.
Oh,
And we just shared it today with our marketing head, so we could always see where this is done, move it over here, this is done, what's going through there. And then they sent out a little script today. Kevin wrote a little script to send to the people we met at ICAST to see about setting up meetings so that we can start get some more partnerships for the Real Angler Network.
He has really stepped up, and I'm very impressed. And I just want to give him a shout out because he deserves it. He's working hard on that.
And that's not an easy task, man. Cold calling and
it's not
doing sales to just throw someone in and be like, call people, hit them up out of the blue. I mean, some of the people we met at ICAST, but some other people
you're talking to the first time.
Yeah, or just met them and got a card where some of them are going to set up to where the ones that have been supporting us, we're going to put some meetings together so that he could be a part of it. You kind of like a little, I mean, they're, a lay down order, they're already a sponsor, but I just want them to do me a solid and, go through the whole Zoom meeting process and let us do a pitch just so we can get it under his belt, the repetitions.
Perfect.
That part. And then today.
And he'll get it down because he's a natural.
He's Kevin Brannon Jr., baby.
That's exactly it. I know.
He's smarter than me, though. Might not be as talkative as me. He's a little bit more. He's more of a man of action than a man of, unless he's on the football field, then his little mouth don't stop. He could talk that smack out there.
I bet that
baseball
fades as he gets into it more and more. Right now, it's a little tough because he's kind of new to it all.
Nah, I know my son. I know his personality.
You don't think he'll fade out of that shyness?
Again, he's not so much that I said, just not as much as me.
No, that's true.
What I'm saying. He's not.
Well, we all saw that in the peer video.
Yeah.
Where I don't want to be on camera.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not like that. But his intelligence level of
no question
being smart, man. He's an A student, an AR star. Remember, he had like his 100 points for his school year, like halfway through the year. He used to do other people's homework in class. They'd tell him, and he'd be up walking around. Like I've been going to always went to all his parent teacher conferences, so I was getting his scoop on his little leadership early on, and even in sports. And when we picked him for this, told him, hey, if you're going to apply for these jobs over here, I could pay you a little bit more. You can work for the family business.
Yeah.
And we had that conversation, and again, he didn't get given anything. He inherited. Again, this is him on the logo, but to put you into sales and cold calling, if you've never done it before, it is tough. That is, you gotta have a level of confidence and a little thicker skin for the nose that you're going to get in the rejections. But I think he's taken it so far. But again, also having Danielle with Morale Matters, and they're helping us, meeting with him every couple months, so he's getting proper guidance and training. There's an outline that we're following. So again, making sure they got the right tools.
Beautiful.
That goes back to when we talk about corporate world. I think if you provide your people with the right tools, are going to do much better. And investing back into your people is even more important, right? Let's invest this money from marketing into a marketing team and a consultant to teach us and go step by step to the next levels of what we've already built. But if we could really designate some funding and some time and people to that, again, then we could really, it's that strategy that's been there, right? Because you strategize on it, but to have the human resources and the support and the proper training, that's an investment back into people.
Yeah, and that, like you said, that is essential. And if you needed evidence, just look at what Kevin does.
I learned some of that though. When I was working at Clark Pest Control, I think that was the best pest control company, one of the best companies I think I worked for, because in the slow season, again, strategy, they knew during the slow season is the best time to train our techs.
Right.
So they're top notch, because the summer there is no training.
There's no time.
Right. And then you get your hours also too for your label reading and your hours that you need, laws and regs. What is it? Rules and regs. Right. So they would do it at a certain time so that we were the best out in the field. They didn't just say, go do 18 orders a day. Well, where's our training?
Yeah.
Here's a truck. You got your branch 2, go.
No. So that training was essential.
And you wonder why Clark was so successful as a family started business by Charlie Clark, again, philosophy, man. That was Charlie's philosophy when he started a company, had to take care of his people. Now, of course, Charlie's passed on, and Joe and his brother decided to sell it to Orkin, right? But hey, that happens. That's part of business. Things get liquidated and bought out because his kids might not have the same vision and goal that he had to do that. Maybe they take the money and invest it into something else, but they waited for him to pass away. And
I heard a phrase once, and I'm not sure how true it is, but it makes sense. It says you build a business to sell a business.
Yeah, that's a strategy.
Yeah, and so that's what they did, and they did quite well from what I understand. So
yeah, but they also waited until Pops was it passed over, then we're gonna, that's his baby.
Exactly.
And people always ask me that. Something happens to you, we do with the guppies. Like, I'm gonna let it fizzle out. It's not something you pat.
Yeah.
Gotta be a way to. Somebody wants to take kids fishing, start your own.
That's true.
And if we move on, I'm not saying we won't take kids fishing, but if the guppies doors close in 5 years and I'm traveling around filming and doing the stuff I went to school for to be a documentary film for National Geographic, and they're paying me to go film in icebergs and stuff, guess where you're gonna find me?
Yeah, exactly. By the iceberg.
Yep. With my camera, being out, being Dizzle Dora the Explorer, pulling my thing, Uncle Traveling Matt, all the ones I used to watch. But again, that's always part of my vision. My vision wasn't to be a nonprofit until I retire. My vision was to be a servant of my community and educator. And I get to pick which ways I want to educate.
Yeah, exactly right.
Can't nobody tell me how to. Sorry, I don't mean to flex on anybody in particular, but
no, I
there's
get
always
you.
something where people think what I should be doing.
I've been called a control freak because of some of the things that I'm doing, my creative endeavors that I do, and that and I don't take that as an insult. I probably am a control freak. I know what I want. And
it's better to be in control than out of control.
Yeah, and if you've got a good suggestion, I'm way open to it. But if you've got a bad suggestion,
but how to go again? Don't just come with suggestions because nobody asked you. I was going to tell the guy the other day.
Well, I actually did ask.
Tell me where. Okay, that's different, right?
Yeah.
But people that just come and tell you what they think. Again, it's like, tell me where you work out, so I can show up at your job and tell you what I think you should be doing.
Yeah, I do.
You should do it this way. Okay, where do you work at? I told a guy, I want to come to your job. So
Yeah,
I'll tell you how to do your job. Oh, well, that's not what I.
That's one of the things I don't miss about work is being told by upper management that I should be doing my job this way when I was doing my job.
What if it's not even a management though? What if it's just again somebody that?
Oh, I know.
They said you don't take credit because I didn't ask you.
That's right.
I didn't ask you for criticism, so that's just your opinion. And if I don't agree with it, I don't have to.
Yeah, you don't.
Right?
You throw it away if you don't like it.
Again, because I could be a real prick and be like, okay, well, show me your track record of success.
But have you ever had somebody offer you a suggestion or a criticism that actually helped?
Of course.
Okay.
But again, usually I go seeking wise counsel. The Bible says he who seeks wise counsel.
Yeah.
Everybody that you bump into, if you're in a totally different industry and you just know what I do and to be at a table telling me what I should be doing or what's going to do it again, how's that relevant?
Yeah, not going to fly.
Yeah,
it's not relevant.
I don't listen to nobody I can't get no game from. There's some more Nipsey Hussle thing, right? I don't.
That's good.
I don't. Again, what is your philosophy on life? Again, I don't want to go that far go in on somebody, but
yeah,
I'm just telling you people that are listening, man, like, stay true to your vision, stay true to your lane, stay true to who you are. Don't let people just be throwing stuff. And then if you got to back them up off you too, tell them,
Yeah.
Oh, you just don't. Yeah. Cause I don't remember. I did not remember asking.
Right. And I love that phrase, stay true to yourself. That's so important. It's essential because otherwise you're diluted.
There's a term I was looking at, like, I get that a lot. Kev, you're so passionate. Nah, I'm bold. There's a difference.
Well, you're kind of both.
Yeah, but I think my boldness is what comes out. I am uncontrollable.
Right.
You can't. I could say whatever I want. I don't work for nobody, but Jesus. Meaning that means if something I do wrong, I'll take what the bad that comes with it, right? And that's ownership. That's leadership. So that way, when you have to make a decision, you make a bold decision. And the things that you say and how you feel on topics that you feel strongly about that ain't affecting nobody else, be bold.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this. I feel bold to do that. There's a boldness. So when we talk about and again, in the faith-based world, like people are like, I don't have the boldness to share my faith. It's like, that's interesting. Right. So again, there's something about being bold. I think you have to have as well. You could be passionate, but
yeah, no,
because I have a passion to go hiking. It's one of my passions. So again, like the word love, like, I love chicken wings. Yeah, but I love my mom too. Like, certain words that can mean certain things.
Yeah. It means a different thing in
you're
each.
Passionate and people are like, no, I'm bold. I've been through, but a lot of it's through experience,
Yeah. Well, that's experience. And that's kind of goes back to what I was going to say about the pest control thing is they give you the classroom training and the CEUs that we used to do. And that's all very important information. Don't get me wrong, but it's the experience in the field where you really learn. Don't you agree?
Yeah.
And that's
because again, there's some industries where you have to be in the field. Like you can only coach up a roach job so well.
Right.
But again, if you don't send an experienced roach master, like we used to do bed bug jobs, that's where they would send anybody out to do a bed bug job. And I thought you can't do that. I think you should have bed bug experts. You just don't say, oh, it's in your route. You go treat for bed bugs. I think you should, and give it the right time that it needs. Because you give me a bed bug job in the middle of 10 orders, yeah, good luck. Someone's going to suffer.
It's too big a job to do that like that. You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Right. So
Absolutely.
Again, you could train, you could teach, but come out here and help me, show me how easy it. Oh, no problem. So to tell you something's easy. I was saying that the other day too. This guy was like, I can show you how to build your business real fast. Certain things, when they say things are easy and things are fast,
probably not.
That's a red flag.
Yeah. But, so what are you doing in Philadelphia exactly? I mean,
not really sure.
Oh no.
I got invited. So we get funding from Justice Outside, which is a liberal justice art, of equality.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been partners with them for our 5th year. And they're having this conference, and they sent it out to any grantees, and I replied back immediately, like, I'll go, because they're helping us with the place to stay and the flight. So I cleared I had a kid fishing day with a school, Peak Academy. Kevin Jr. is going to run that. He'll be in charge that day.
He'll do great.
And Uncle Dave and a couple other people will run that, and then I'll be out there in Philly. But it's just one of those things, again, I couldn't afford not to miss.
No, you're
right. Sure I'll take something away from it. Our marketing person today said, is it worth it? Same with, because we have the summit. I'm like, can you explain to me what worth it means? Again, I get a little tit for tat, because you meet somebody, you're staying networking, they can't not pay off, right? But what you do when you get back, the follow up or keep it in communication, there's more to it than just, when people go to the networking, you do that chamber, or you do the network. They're all the same philosophy. Again, that's that word, philosophy, is that if you go out there and you put 70% of it is just showing up, you're going to meet somebody. You're going to hear something that somebody has to say up there.
No question.
That's where you get your advice. What's the market doing?
Yeah.
If you're not submerged in the market that you're in, like nonprofit and these things that we're going up against, right? And you're not putting that time aside, you're going to get something out of it. Same with the summit. You can't be around 80 CEOs and not get something out of it.
Absolutely
right?
not. Yeah.
If you leave a $10,000 contract for your fishing show, maybe not that day, but it shows that you're relevant to the industry, that you're an ambassador of your industry. You're in the mix, You're
just by showing up, you're doing something. Just by showing up, you're showing them, look, I'm active, I'm interested, I want to help, I want to do this. That alone, I would say, is worth it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I was just curious if you had like
I know, okay, you know what I'm going to do? I was watching Rocky last night, the first one.
I know what you're going to
do. I'm going to bring me some sweats, some chucks. I'm going to run like Rocky Balboa through a little bit of Pennsylvania. I'm going to run up them steps, throw my hands up in the air. What I got to do, since this thing just kind of popped
video,
up,
dude.
Oh, I'm making bad video. You know that. But again, there's another story. Again, if was going into stories, Rocky's story, and like his dog is in there. Brutus,
yeah, I think so. Yeah,
is in this movie, and the story about him selling his dog for $50 because he needed the money before he could sell his script, and what he did. I'm such a biology nerd. Like, I study this stuff, man, on success stories. Again, a philosophy. He wasn't gonna let nobody deter him. He was gonna be in the movie, right?
He was a star. It wasn't gonna get made.
He was gonna write it. All the things that he's like, and look at Rocky now. That's why I'm gonna do that when I get over there, because again, that just pays homage to a visionary.
Yeah.
And
maybe we'll get him on the show.
Since they came up you never know. Hey, Community Kev, I could be your guest. Yeah, I'm not afraid to ask anybody. So, is to look up what is there around there for the 3 days that I'm there.
Yeah.
So that way I can look into it. It was funny watching the movie. You could see them in the little stoops and stuff in the East Coast. And I'm like, man, I just want to I like culture too. So just take a Uber ride down there and just take me through some of the, just give me a little Rocky tour. Show me some of the inner city,
There's a lot to see in Philadelphia.
But I got 3 days, and 2 of them are at the conference.
Yeah.
So
that's what I was wondering, if you were going to be up on a stage during the conference at any point. You're not expecting that?
Nah, not yet.
But if they did, you'd be ready. Even if you had nothing prepared.
Yeah. I'm always ready though.
That's exactly what I mean. Yeah.
I can speak topic. Give me the mic. Remember Sean Paul? Just give me the mic. Just give me
We've seen that many times. DC was a perfect example.
Yeah. So I tell them I stay on point, man. I practice that way. When you put me on, and I'm not trying to be I'm modest, humble, right? Because I really I understand God's gifts, like these opportunities. I don't take them lightly, but I am confident in me, and I am confident in my ability. And I think I come to conquer. I don't come to just play. I come to, and again, there's conquering kings. When I got this new chain, right? And like king, wearing the, why you gotta wear the drip? And I'm like, I'm a king, man. Where I really want to go is, and I think there's a king in all of us. I'm not saying I'm any different. I think that there's just people that have a mindset of, I remember Bob Marley said that I come to conquer. We come to conquer. He would just kill a stage. What a performer, right? And he was singing about depression and singing about biblical stuff. And if you listen to that music, you could hear what he's as a poet, what he's saying. But he man, they perform. And he never had is Bob ready?
Yes.
You know,
was always ready.
He was always ready. So there's just people that are been a part of history, man, that are historically, especially ones that come from the ghetto and the inner city like myself. I'm watching this Chosen movie right now, and they refer to Jesus as the person from the East Side ghetto. And where we live at, the East Side is Colonia, right? And I made a joke like, oh, I didn't know Jesus was a Colonia boy. Just laughing. Because really the East Side over here, not laughing in a mockery place, but just, yeah, I know where there's an East Side ghetto around
exactly.
here. So I know what it looks like, right? We know what it looks like.
Yeah.
And I've done business in there, right? So I've been a part of it. But, you know, Jesus himself, you know, the people that are the what is it? The cornerstone that the carpenter discarded was the foundation. Man, you got me preaching up here today, Scotty. But you know what I think it is, man? Because I really am overwhelmed with joy of how the blessings that we do have and the experiences that we do have, but utilizing my faith and that boldness to help us get to where we're at, you know, having that we could do this if we have the right pieces in place.
Right.
You know?
And you've proven that by getting some of the right pieces in place and seeing how things change.
Like Denzel said, it's chess, not checkers.
Yeah.
Right? You might have to send something out there to, you know,
sacrifice,
you know, so the king could pull through.
Yeah.
You there you go back with the king thing, right? But you know, there is a part of strategies and moving your pieces into position, and that's how life is. That's how business is. Like, oh, I see you doing this, yeah, but they were here. We just had to move this out of the way so that the night could come out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So there is ways. You got to make that lane so that the bishop could shoot at an angle.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Clear the path so we can get there.
Right.
Yeah.
And know what each piece is for.
That's exactly right.
You can't do the pawn, can't do what the bishop, can't do what the knight, can't do what the rook, can't do what the queen does, right? Every piece has their position. Every piece has
its own position, its own movements. Yeah. Preaching. He's preaching. So try to send us some footage while you're there in Philly, and then we will...
You'll do your thing?
We'll try to put together a short podcast.
Scotty does his thing, man.
Yeah, I like to have a podcast up every week. Probably won't be able to do it next week because I'll be out of town completely. But the week that he's in Philly, we'll put something up. I don't know what it'll be, but just send me little clips if you can, and we'll get him inserted.
I think the main thing is like Monday and Tuesday, so I'll get some footage and shoot it to you and tell you where we're at, and you can put it together.
Perfect. We'll do that for sure. So
I think that's about it, man. I just want to inspire you today. Let you know again, thank you all for listening and our viewers and for sharing podcast and, seeing the growth of Rolling Their Network and the vision of what we've done. And, we've really shared and showcased a lot of that on this podcast. There's probably not too much you guys don't know about what we got going on. But again, that's all for inspiration to show people growth and strategies and patterns and finding the right people to work with and the right equipment, right? That does take time, and how you invest into that and invest into people and also humanizing them. I heard another guy talk the other day. A couple people, is how we treat human beings, man, where people are humans first.
Yeah, I agree.
Treat people like people, humans first, everything else will fall into place. I strongly believe that,
That's a great way of looking at it. Yeah. I believe that wholeheartedly.
That's your, motivational tape for the day, man, is just, see the good in people. Again, like we said, there's 5% of people that don't return the shopping carts. There's always going to be extreme people in everything.
There is.
The loudest don't mean that you're right. It just means you yell the loudest, right? So no, everybody is saying that. Not everybody is saying that. There's a few people saying it real loud,
Yeah,
so
that's 100%.
Remember, there's always going to be 5% of those people. And just be the light, If you don't see the positive change, be the positive change.
Yeah, and you can do it. So we apologize for any wind noises there might have been. We've got our windscreens on, but that doesn't always help a lot. I hope you heard some of the animal noises because we had the lions and seals or whatever they are over there. And you got the beautiful background here with the palm trees. You can't go wrong with that. So
I start doing that from now on, man. Cool breeze and palm trees.
We can do it wherever we want to. That's the beauty of it also. So we'll see you not next week, but the following week we'll have something. And then will you be back the week after that, or are you still okay? So we'll be back. So we'll be back full bore, and we can hear what happened in Philadelphia.
Yep. All right. Stay tuned, everybody.
Hey, where's Barry?
Barry is inside today. We left him over there covered, and he's in the corner again. There's just some stuff in there. We're growing, man, and it's fantastic. You're going to get to see our science and research laboratory is going to be opened up here pretty soon with our interns, and we're going to do little water samples and wind samples and get some little sediment off the bottom of the ocean, and they can do little research projects and look at all little things up on the microscopes.
It's going to be awesome.
Killing that game.
Yep. All right. We'll see you next time.
Take care.
No, that's not how you end the show.
Let's go.
That's how you end the show.
Let's go. I miss Barry. I went like this even.
We'll get it back next week.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
2 weeks. To learn more about Real Guppy Outdoors, please visit www.communitykevin.com. Brought to you by AftCo Fishing Apparel and Tackle, designed to perform. Channel Island Sport Fishing, offering deep-sea fishing on quality sport fishing charter boats, and more. Costa Sunglasses. Discover life's greatest adventures with Costa. See what's out there. Daiwa. If you want innovation and quality in your fishing products, Daiwa has what you need. This has been a Rough Edge Studios production.